give it about 15 seconds here while this prepares, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, you're good to go.
Okay. Welcome to the hearing of the Assessment Equalization Board. Today's first hearing deals with the 2020 Phase 1 Arterial Collector Resurfacing Program as per Resolution Number 87-2020. As required by Chapter 727 of the Ohio Revised Code, I, Sarah Bibiano, as Deputy Clerk of the Legislative Authority, have notified by certified mail the persons so objecting of the time and place for the hearing by the Board. As Deputy Clerk of Council, I hereby call this meeting to order. The Assessment Equalization Board consists of 3 disinterested freeholders of the municipal corporation as required by Chapter 727.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Today's board members are Jim Purge, Dan Billich, and Jimmy Coleman. The next order will be the explanation of procedure for the Law Department, represented today by Sean Coleman, Assistant Law Director. This hearing is being live streamed and recorded. Thank you.
Yes, hi. Akron City Council passed Resolution 87-2020 declaring it necessary to improve various arterial and collector streets in the city of Akron by resurfacing. Having received objections to the estimated special assessments, City Council duly appointed this Assessment Equalization Board. The jurisdiction of the board is limited to hearing objections as to whether the property has been benefited by the improvements and whether the amount of the assessment is a proper apportionment of those benefits. The board cannot consider whether the project is necessary or revise the nature and scope of the project or the materials used. Those determinations have been made by City Council and are binding on the board. What I'd like to first do is, for the members of the Assessment Equalization Board, I'd like to swear you in. Please raise your right hand. And do you swear or affirm that you will faithfully execute the duties of an Assessment Equalization Board? Please signify by saying, I do.
I do.
I do.
Okay. And Teresa and Jim, you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be entirely the truth? Please signify by saying, I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Now, just for the record, I would like Teresa and Jim to introduce themselves and just to give a little bit about their involvement, what they do as part of the project. Teresa, if you want to go first.
Yes, good morning. My name is Teresa Herbert. I'm the city assessor. My department is responsible for the notification and final billing of the special assessments and certifying them to the property taxes once billed and not paid. They are a 5-year assessment payable over 10 installments for the resurfacing.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jim Hall. I am the Public Works Bureau Manager for the Department of Public Service here in the city of Akron. The Highway Maintenance Division is the division that performs this work through a contracted contractor. They report to me, and if there's any questions or concerns, please let me know. I'd be glad to answer them.
And I do want to note, I do know that the board had a couple of questions, preliminary questions that I wanted to just restate and answer here for the record. The first was with respect to who is responsible for the payment of the assessments if there's a tenant or something similar. And the answer is ultimately it's the property owner that is responsible for the assessment. They can contract that in a lease or some other way to another party, but the remedy there would be a private remedy that wouldn't involve the collection of the assessment. It would be between the two parties. And then the second one was with regard to timing of the payments. There's a lot of the concern via the current situation we're in with COVID-19 and the coronavirus. These assessments, if they are, if they do move forward, they will be placed on a tax duplicate for the tax year 2021, which would not be payable until 2022. So the first increased payment on the tax duplicate would be January of 2022. And I believe the second half is generally due in August. So it would be calendar year 2022 that the increased assessments would be paid. Before we call the name of the objector for this hearing, I don't know if the board has any preliminary other questions that they want to ask at this point for myself or for Teresa or Jim.
I do not.
I do not.
Nor do I.
Okay, thank you. So then I guess I'll check in with our moderator to make sure that there's nobody in the waiting room. Is that Nina or?
One in the waiting room.
There's no one? Okay, thank you. But I will call for the record, it is Ralph Moyer. And as I would like to maybe give it a few minutes, if everyone could just stay put for maybe 5 minutes to see if he's having issues logging in or trying to join the meeting. And then if not, if there are no other questions of the board, we'll end the public hearing and the board can deliberate. So thank you. Okay, everyone's back, everyone's there. It looks like, check to see if there are any further questions of the board, with regard to the objection or any questions for the city officials.
Nope.
Okay.
No, I have
Hearing none,
none.
I'm going to close the public testimony of the public hearing, and the board members, you feel free to deliberate. You can, actually, we only have one objection, so if you choose to grant it or deny it.
I vote to deny the objection.
I vote to deny the objection also.
As do I.
Okay, that would be all three voting to deny the objection. I am going to close this assessment equalization board hearing, and we'll see you in about a half hour.
Thank you.
All right,
All
thank
right.
you.
Very
Bye-bye.
good. Bye-bye.